The 2024 year of choice. A great time is approaching and it will sweep the world's incompetent leaders. The balance of power in the geopolitical picture is shifting more and more clearly. In 2024, a great moment is approaching and it will sweep away the world's incompetent leaders. 2024 will be more difficult for the whole world than 2023, but at the same time, it will be a year of choice. This is not a prediction, but a trend. Starting with 2020, the year of the pandemic, each subsequent year has been more painful than the last. And in 2024, the factor of elections will be added to the already ongoing wars and crises. Let's put aside the March elections in Russia. It will simply turn out to be a referendum on confidence in Putin, and it will be overwhelmingly in favor of the Russian president, as always. Basically, I think it's a farce. It's just a staged election. Now, but the rest promise to add turbulence. Elections will be held in more than a quarter of the world's countries, which also include the majority of the world's population as such. Russia, India, US, Great Britain, European Union elections, Indonesia, Pakistan, South Africa. That is, the voters will have their say, and with all the global disillusionment and democratic processes, the importance of the upcoming referendums next year will be great indeed. And the frustration is connected with manipulation, although the institution of general elections in most countries is not even 100 years old, because previously in the West, there were various mechanisms of power. People have repeatedly seen how the ruling elites, hereditary power and oligarchy, etc., they manipulate not so much with their votes as with the choice of candidates for power, blocking the candidacy of undesirables, creating all sorts of alliances. However, in times of general unrest, both election results and the consequences of manipulation can be the most unexpected. Elections in Taiwan, January 13, 2024. That's just in a few days. Everyone's attention is drawn to the presidential election in Taiwan, which will be held on January 13, 2024. Never before has the result of a vote on the island caused such an uproar, because the confrontation between the United States and China has not reached its current level. In America, they're deliberately promoting the theme for the Chinese threat. It's assumed that Beijing may be so unhappy with the consequences of the election that it's preparing for a military occupation of the island of Taiwan. They say that if the candidate of the current ruling Democratic Progressive Party, Lai Ching-te, Vice President and Mayor of Taipei, wins and goes and declares the island's legal independence, now Taiwan considers itself a continuation of the Republic of China, which existed until 1949. Then China will attack, America will have to intervene, and the US-China war will start. That's pretty much the American challenge. This is precisely the challenge because China does not currently plan to annex Taiwan by military means. China considers Taiwan a part of the People's Republic of China and expects to peacefully achieve reunification under the Hong Kong One Country, Two Systems plan. They're willing to wait not indefinitely, but for some time, but the United States does not want to give the initiative to the Chinese. They need to keep Taiwan separate from China in the long term. The United States cannot wait because China is building a fleet, and in the medium term will be able to simply drive the Americans out of the Taiwan waters, blockade the island, and force it to surrender. At the same time, Washington is partly really afraid under the conditions of increasing global turmoil. China may in the near future decide to follow the path of violence, and then the United States will lose not only the most important lever of pressure on China, but also they face in front of such important countries for them as Japan and South Korea. China has repeatedly stated that it does not intend to acquire Taiwan by force, but the Americans do not believe this, and with their statements and actions, they are practically provoking China. However, we can safely predict that China's leadership will not rise to the challenge, not to mention the fact that even if Lai Ching-te wins, the Taiwanese will be smart enough not to be exposed to the Declaration of Independence. But Kuomintang Party candidate Hu Yui, who is even less prone to adventure, also has a chance to win. Critical elections in Southeast Asia as well. Other important elections will be in the Islamic world of South and Southeast Asia, which will be held in the next month and a half in 3 countries with a combined population of 700 million people. Bangladesh votes on January 7, 2024. Indonesia, the largest country in the Islamic world, votes February 14, but the most explosive election will be held on February 8th in Pakistan, in the only Muslim nuclear power and party of Imran Khan, the former prime minister who was ousted from power in the spring of 2022, is confidently cruising to victory. They tried to put him in prison to prevent him from taking part in the election, to do away with him, but he's stubbornly trying to return to power. Khan opposes family-based political clans from the 2 largest provinces, but voters have many complaints against him due to corruption and nepotism. Imran Khan's victory is practically indisputable, but it's not clear how the military, which has huge influence and has taken power into its own hands many times, will behave in order to stop political strife. If he decides to intervene this time, it could lead to dire consequences for an already highly unstable country that has many problems with its neighbors. The most important of which, India, will vote in April and May, and victory for Narendra Modi's party is almost inevitable. It will give him a 3rd term as prime minister and boost his domestic and international influence. In Europe, the disapproval of governments will be resounding in the European elections, a resounding turn to the patriotic right and extreme right. The summer will be the turn of European Union. In early June, they will elect the European Parliament, and despite its limited powers, the vote will be a very important barometer for European sentiment and their judgment of confidence in the current form of European integration. The strengthening of the right and Eurosceptics is practically assured. They will become the 3rd largest group in the European Parliament. The combined forces of Marine Le Pen, Giorgia Meloni of Italy, Orban of Hungary, and other right-wing parties will be able not only to influence the work of the European Parliament, but also to demand more forcefully a change of course. The European elections will be a big disapproval for the governments. The citizens, among other things, consider the hostility against Russia to be a mistake. And very bad results from the ruling coalition parties in Germany could lead to its collapse and early elections in Germany. The defeat of the Conservatives is given in the United Kingdom. The timing of the UK elections is not yet clear. It will certainly be held before the end of 2024, but could be held in the summer. The result is already almost clear. Not even a miracle can reverse the complete defeat of the Conservatives. Labour will return to power in a new country. They previously ruled in the pre-Brexit period and will immediately face a problem of Scottish secession. The historic election, US election, November 5th, 2024, but the problems of the island's Anglo-Saxons pale in comparison to their globalized American brethren. On November 5th, elections will be held in the United States. And this, of course, is the main election of the year, but not because of US influence, but because of the internal political crisis that has been deepening since 2016. Trump's victory shocked the American elite, but they managed to defeat him in 2020. Now there will be a 3rd round, and everything points to the inevitable victory of the former President Trump. The establishment is unable to prevent its revenge, which will not only deepen the division in American society, but also threatens to begin the process of delegitimizing the institution of elections, the presidency. In 2024, the changes already taking place in the world will gain momentum, universal, large-scale, and revolutionary. The balance of power in the geopolitical picture is shifting more and more clearly. In 2024, a great moment is approaching, and it will sweep away the world's incompetent leaders. And this is from Banking News. I've translated this for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.